Before we begin, I want to ask you something important. When was the last time you truly trusted your legs? Not just to walk, not just to carry you across the room, but to move freely, confidently, powerfully, without fear of falling, without needing to hold on, without that quiet whisper of weakness echoing behind each step. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mora, a urologist who has walked with thousands of men through their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And I can tell you this, your legs are not just muscles. They are your foundation, your freedom, your independence. But somewhere along the way, many men begin to lose their connection to that strength. They stop trusting their knees, their steps become smaller, their chairs become more comfortable than their shoes, and the silence grows louder in their body. But what if I told you that your legs are still listening? That deep inside the muscles, inside the joints and blood vessels, there is memory of strength. Not the kind you had at 20, the kind you need now, stable, grounded, purposeful. The kind of strength that doesn't just help you move, but keeps your dignity intact. If you felt your legs growing weaker, if stairs have become mountains, if walks are shorter, or your balance feels uncertain, this message is for you. And I want you to know, it's not too late. This isn't about going to the gym 6 days a week or trying to look like a bodybuilder. This is about reclaiming what is rightfully yours, the power to stand tall, to walk steady, and to move through the world without fear. You may be surprised to hear this from a urologist, but I've seen it time and again. Weak legs often signal deeper problems. Circulation, hormones, metabolic resistance, emotional weight. And yes, strengthening your legs improves more than your walk. It improves your sleep, your mood, your blood flow, your intimacy, your manhood. Because when your legs are strong, your confidence returns. You go farther. You stand longer. You meet your partner's eyes differently. You feel capable, present, alive. So today, I want to walk with you. Through stories, through science, through practice. We'll uncover the real reasons men lose leg strength after 60 and the natural, practical ways to rebuild it. No magic tricks, no impossible routines, just the truth and a path back to your own power. But before we begin, I'd love to know something from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, where are you watching from? What city? What country? How are your legs feeling today? Let's start this journey together, with honesty, with hope, and with strength that begins from the ground up. Are you ready? Let's begin. It doesn't happen all at once. That's the cruel part. It's subtle, quiet, gradual. At first, it's just a hesitation on the stairs, a longer pause before getting out of the car, that slight shift of weight when you stand, as if your legs might not be there to meet you with full strength. You chalk it up to aging, to normal. But deep inside, a voice starts to ask, what if this keeps getting worse? The truth is, your legs are the messengers of many systems in your body. They reveal what's happening in your heart, in your blood, in your metabolism, and even in your mind. One of the most common hidden reasons for declining leg strength in men over 60 is poor circulation. As blood flow slows with age, especially if you've had years of sitting, or if you're dealing with high blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, your legs receive less oxygen, less fuel. The muscles begin to fade, not from laziness, but from quiet starvation. And that fatigue you feel, that heaviness in the thighs, that trembling in the knees, it's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of the body calling for help. Another culprit is hormonal. As testosterone gradually declines, the body's ability to maintain muscle mass also shrinks. You may find yourself losing muscle not just in the legs, but across the entire body. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It's about structure, strength, movement, drive. But there's another force, perhaps even more powerful than biology, and that is belief. Over time, many men stop trusting their own legs. They stop using them fully. And what we don't use, we lose. That simple chair in your living room? It might be more dangerous than you realize. Because every time you choose the chair over the walk, the rest over the reach, your muscles quietly agree. We are not needed. The nervous system adapts. The balance begins to fade. The fear grows. And so, leg weakness becomes not just physical, but emotional. You begin to question your independence, your masculinity, your worth. But listen to me now, and listen well. None of that is true. You are not weak. You are not broken. Your body is waiting for permission to move again, waiting for consistency, waiting for a return to the basics of blood flow, of daily motion, of standing tall, even when you feel unsure. Because here's something no one tells you. Strength is not measured by how much you lift. It's measured by how much you reclaim. And if your legs have carried the weight of years, stress, loss, and uncertainty, then yes, they deserve to feel powerful again. In the next block, we'll begin the path of return. Through breath, through rhythm, through nature, through intention. But for now, let's pause. Let this truth settle in your bones. You can rebuild what time has taken. The ground beneath you is not just something you walk on, it's something that can support your revival. Are you ready to feel steady again? Let's keep walking. Together. So how do we begin? Not with machines, not with pain, but with awareness, with respect, with reconnection. You see, after 60, your body doesn't just need movement, it needs meaning in movement. It doesn't want punishment. It wants permission. It wants to remember. So I ask you to start simply, not with intensity, but with intimacy. Place your feet flat on the ground. Feel them. Really feel them. The floor beneath you isn't just a surface. It's a partner in your healing. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Notice your posture. Are you slouched forward? Are your knees locked? Is your core engaged? This is not trivial. How you stand is how your legs learn to carry you. How you breathe is how your muscles learn to move again. Every joint, every fiber is listening. Begin with the act of rising. Getting out of a chair without using your hands, slowly, with intention, might be the most powerful exercise you do this week. Do it once, then again, then tomorrow, and again. You're not building a habit. You're awakening memory. Your body knows how to stand tall. It's just been waiting for your return. Walk barefoot on safe ground. Let your toes spread. Let your ankles adjust. Feel the earth push back against your weight, reminding you that you are still here, still moving, still capable. And with each breath, send oxygen to your thighs, your calves, your hips. Your muscles don't just need protein. They need presence. As a doctor, I've watched men regain strength not just through therapy, but through devotion, through small daily rituals, through reconnecting with the very parts of themselves they had ignored or feared. Balance isn't something you're born with. It's something you practice. And strength isn't found in weight. It's found in will. Don't underestimate the power of simple movements done with precision. Lifting your knees slowly while seated, rising and sitting 10 times a day with full control, holding your balance while brushing your teeth, stretching your legs before sleep. These are not gym routines. These are life rituals. And when practiced daily, they rewire your body, your mind, and your spirit. Because strengthening your legs isn't about muscle. It's about message. You are sending a message to your entire system. I still want to move. I still want to live with energy. I still want to stand tall. And your body will answer. If you stay consistent, even in small efforts, your nerves will respond. Your blood flow will improve. Your sleep will deepen. Your confidence will return. In the next block, I'll walk you through specific foods and nutrients that support leg strength, balance, and endurance after 60. Natural allies for your daily practice. But for now, ask yourself, when I rise tomorrow, will I choose to rise with purpose? Because this is not just a video, it's a vow. And your legs, they are listening. Let's talk about what fuels your legs. Not just the muscles, but the energy, the stability, the life they carry with each step. When we speak of strength after 60, we can't ignore the chemistry behind it. Your legs don't move just because you want them to. They move because blood brings oxygen, because nerves send signals, because your metabolism decides how much energy to release. And food, real food, is the silent partner in all of that. As you age, your muscles become more sensitive to what you put in your body. They need support, not just calories, but nutrients that speak directly to tissue, blood vessels, and nerves. Magnesium, potassium, omega-3s, antioxidants. These aren't trendy terms. These are building blocks for strong, stable legs. Think of foods that grow from deep roots, like beets. They're rich in nitrates that help your blood vessels relax, improving blood flow especially to the lower body. That's circulation in action, and circulation is everything. When blood moves freely, muscles receive fuel. When blood slows down, muscles shrink and joints begin to stiffen. That's why a man with cold feet or numbness in the calves isn't just tired. He's underfueled at the core. Dark leafy greens like kale and spinach feed your red blood cells. Bananas and avocados support muscle contractions and prevent painful cramps. Fatty fish like sardines and salmon reduce inflammation, which is one of the quiet enemies of strength. But it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Are your meals rushed, eaten in front of a screen, filled with processed salt and sugar? Or are they slow, intentional, colorful, and rich in things that your great-grandfather would recognize as real food? Because your legs will reflect your choices. Weakness doesn't always come from age. It often comes from accumulation, years of inflammation, years of sugar spikes, years of low water and high stress. And yes, hydration matters more than you think. Water isn't just about thirst. It cushions your joints, softens your tissues, and allows nutrients to flow where they're needed most. A dry body is a brittle body, and brittle legs don't hold you the way strong ones do. As a urologist, I also encourage you to remember your kidneys. Why? Because poor kidney function affects your blood pressure, your electrolytes, and even your bones. And when your internal filters are under stress, your legs often suffer silently. So eat to move, not to lose weight, not to look younger. Eat to walk stronger. Eat to rise from the chair without fear. Eat to climb stairs with intention. And if your meals today can include a cup of sautéed spinach, a handful of walnuts, a roasted beet, or even a grilled piece of salmon, your legs will feel it tomorrow. Nutrition is not a punishment, it's a promise that you will no longer eat like someone waiting to fade, but like a man who is choosing to rise. In the next block, we'll talk about rhythm, how movement throughout the day, even in small doses, builds not just muscle, but momentum. But tonight, when you sit to eat, I want you to ask yourself, will this meal help me stand tomorrow? Because that's what real nourishment is. Strength doesn't arrive in a flash. It doesn't explode into your life like a lightning bolt. It arrives slowly, quietly, in rhythm. One step, then another. Movement, for a man over 60, is no longer about breaking records or chasing speed. It's about honoring flow. And the more consistent that flow becomes, the more your legs begin to trust you again. You see, the human body is designed to move often. Not violently, not endlessly, but regularly. What breaks us is not age, it's stagnation. Every hour you sit without purpose, your blood slows, your joints tighten, your nerves become drowsy. And your muscles begin to whisper, "Are we still needed?" But each time you rise, stretch, walk across the room, you send a message back. Yes, we're still alive, still necessary. Start with rhythm, not routine. Don't overthink it. Don't chase perfection. Just begin. Wake up, breathe deeply, and take 10 slow, deliberate steps. Feel the connection between heel, foot, and floor. Let your arms swing gently at your sides, not to exercise, but to reintroduce your body to itself. Throughout the day, set moments to move. Walk to the window, stretch your calves, stand and sit with control. Let every movement remind your legs. You belong to a body in motion. This isn't about the gym. This is about your kitchen, your hallway, your garden. Use the stairs if you have them. Hold on to the railing, not because you're weak, but because you're retraining strength. And if you have access to nature, even a small patch of grass or a tree-lined path, use it. Walk with presence. Let the light, the air, the smells fill your lungs as your legs carry you like they did decades ago. I've seen men who hadn't exercised in years transform their balance, posture, and mobility just by committing to small, repeated movements every single day. Because repetition rewires the body. Repetition is medicine. Think of every movement as a vote for strength. Each time you lift your heel off the floor, Each time you flex your foot while lying in bed. Each time you bend your knees with purpose, you are voting for a future in motion, and those votes count. But there's something else that must be said. Consistency over intensity. You don't need to sweat buckets. You don't need to feel sore for days. You need to show up every day in some way. Your legs don't care how strong you used to be. They care how committed you are now, and they will reward your patience. In 1 month, you might notice better balance. In 2, you may find yourself walking farther. In 3, you might rise from your chair without thinking. It begins with rhythm. With the simple courage to move again, day by day, breath by breath. And if you're thinking, but I've already lost too much, let me remind you, motion is not just recovery, it is resurrection. You are not too old. You are not too late. Your legs are not done. They are waiting. So move gently. Move daily. Move like a man who knows he still has places to go. In the next block, I'll guide you through how rest, especially sleep, is the secret weapon to rebuilding muscular strength and hormonal balance after 60. But before that, take 1 minute right now. Stand up, stretch your arms, lift one knee, then the other. Remind your legs. We are still moving. We are still alive. You may think strength is built in the gym, but real strength, lasting strength, is forged in silence, in stillness. In the dark hours when the world sleeps, and your body is given the sacred task of rebuilding itself. Sleep is not rest. It is recovery. And for men over 60, it is the most overlooked medicine for the legs, the heart, and yes, even for desire. When you sleep deeply, your body releases growth hormone, your natural repairman. This hormone tells your muscles to rebuild. It tells your bones to stay dense. It whispers to your blood vessels to stay elastic and strong. It even tells your testosterone, we are safe to rise again. But what happens when sleep becomes broken? When nights are short and restless? When you toss, turn, wake with stiffness? Or worse, with worry? Your legs feel it first. They become heavier, slower to react, less confident beneath you. Circulation decreases, inflammation increases, and your body starts falling behind on its own repairs. I've seen it in my patients again and again, men trying to move more, eat better, take supplements. But until they fix their sleep, progress stays stalled. Because a tired body resists change. A restless mind blocks recovery. And tension in the soul leads to tension in the muscles. So how do we restore the night? Not with pills, not with force, but with rhythm, with intention, with surrender. Begin by honoring darkness. Let your evenings be quiet. Let your lights dim earlier. Turn off the noise, not just from the television, but from your thoughts. Remind your nervous system, we are safe to slow down. Create a ritual, a warm bath, a walk in the evening air, a cup of chamomile. Stretch your legs gently before bed. Invite blood flow, not as a workout, but as a signal. The work is done. The healing begins. Keep your room cool, dark, free from interruptions. Let your phone sleep far from your bed. Let your breath be slow. If you pray, pray. If you reflect, reflect. Your body is not a machine. It is a temple. And every night, that temple needs silence to be restored. When sleep deepens, testosterone rises naturally. This means stronger bones, firmer muscles, clearer energy. Even your balance improves. Even your desire awakens, not just sexually, but for life. You start your day with more clarity, more purpose, more readiness to move. And your legs? They feel lighter, not because you trained them harder, but because you gave them time to heal. As your doctor, I remind you, good sleep is not a luxury. It is a foundation. It is where the body decides whether to break down or rise stronger. In the next block, I'll walk you through natural practices and mindsets that help sustain strength emotionally, because your legs will only walk as far as your mind allows them to believe. But tonight, when you lie down, I want you to say these words gently to yourself. I am safe. I am healing. I am becoming strong again. Let the darkness be your ally. Let rest do the work. You can feed your body. You can move your legs. You can sleep in the deepest silence. But if your mind does not believe in your own strength, your body will hesitate to follow. This is what I've seen, time and time again, in men who come to my clinic. They limp not just with weak muscles, but with heavy doubt. They carry a story, a quiet narrative that whispers, "This is just how aging works." But I want you to hear this. Aging is not the enemy. Resignation is. Your legs are not just controlled by muscle and bone. They are powered by belief, by memory, by will. And if you keep telling yourself that strength is gone, eventually your body will agree. But if you remind yourself that strength is returning, even slowly, even awkwardly, your body begins to respond. You see, the greatest weight many men carry is not in their thighs or their knees. It's in their past. A time when they were stronger. A time when they could run, lift, stand all day without thinking. And they compare themselves to that man and feel like they've lost something they can never recover. But you have not lost him. He is still here. Quieter, perhaps. More weathered. But he is still standing. You are still standing. And in this chapter of life, you are not rebuilding youth. You are reclaiming power, of a different kind, a wiser kind. A strength that is not about how far or how fast, but about how deeply rooted you feel in your own skin. So I ask you, what is your story now? Is it one of slow fading, or is it one of steady returning? Because your mindset becomes your posture, and your posture shapes your breath, your blood flow, your confidence, and your steps. This is why I speak not just of science, but of spirit. When a man believes he is too old to grow stronger, he shortens his own future. But when he dares to believe that his legs still matter, that he is still worthy of strength, of movement, of freedom, everything begins to shift. Your nervous system calms. Your joints unlock. Your hormones rise. Your eyes regain the fire of someone who is no longer waiting for permission to live. And yes, it takes courage. To walk again after a fall. To stretch even when stiff. To believe even when you feel tired. But this kind of courage does not roar. It breathes. It shows up quietly, again and again, like a man choosing to stand one more time. You don't need to prove anything to the world, but you do need to prove something to yourself. That you are still a man in motion, still capable of standing tall, of walking with purpose, of moving through this life with dignity. In the next block, we'll explore how building strength in your legs supports not only balance and mobility, but also your intimate life and your overall sense of masculine identity. But right now, I invite you to sit still for a moment. Close your eyes and ask yourself, am I ready to walk differently, not just with my body, but with my mind? Because that shift is where strength begins. Now let me tell you something that most men don't hear from their doctors. Your legs and your sexual health are not separate systems. They are deeply connected. One fuels the other. One reveals the truth of the other. When your legs are weak, when your steps are slow, when your thighs tremble too soon, it's not just about muscles. It's about blood. It's about energy. It's about circulation. And here's the truth. What feeds your legs also feeds your erection, your pelvic floor, your prostate, your intimate power. Because the same blood that moves down to your calves is the blood that must reach your deepest, most vulnerable center as a man. If blood doesn't flow freely through your legs, if your vessels are stiff, narrow, or clogged, that blood will struggle to reach the places that matter most when desire awakens. And no pill can fix a body that forgot how to pump its own power. I've seen this countless times in men who came to me complaining of fatigue, low libido, erectile issues. And what I often find isn't just low testosterone. It's low movement, low circulation, low trust in their own foundation. When your legs are strong, blood moves upward and downward with force and grace. When your legs walk daily, when your calves contract with rhythm, they become pumps for your lower body. They don't just carry you, they oxygenate you. They awaken you. And the reward? More stamina, deeper arousal, better recovery, more confidence. I'm not saying leg day will fix your sex life, but I am saying this. When you neglect your legs, you silence a vital part of your masculinity. Because strength is not just about lifting things. It's about lifting yourself, physically, emotionally, and yes, sexually. And there's something else. Men who walk with strength, who stand with balance, who trust their hips and knees, They carry themselves differently in intimacy. They're more present, more aware, more connected to the moment. And their partners notice. You don't need six-pack abs or perfect posture to be a man of desire. You need blood flow. You need confidence. You need grounding. So don't underestimate your daily steps. Don't dismiss your morning stretches. Don't ignore the quiet burn in your thighs as you stand from a chair. That's not weakness. That's resurrection. And if you're struggling with performance or feeling disconnected from that part of yourself, start by waking up your legs, because your strength down there begins down there. In the next block, we'll bring together everything you've learned so far, your habits, your mindset, your body, and shape them into a long-term lifestyle that keeps your legs strong and your manhood alive for years to come. But before we move forward, take this moment to remember, the road back to vitality doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts with the courage to walk it, one powerful step at a time. By now, you've heard the truth. That strength doesn't come from a single choice, or a perfect workout, or a magic supplement. It's the quiet accumulation of small, consistent decisions that you make every single day. And those decisions start the moment you open your eyes in the morning. What you do in that first hour sets the tone for the way your legs will carry you. Do you reach for your phone and sit still, or do you rise and let the blood move through your hips and calves? Do you breathe shallow with tension, or do you greet the day with a full, grateful breath that reminds your body it's alive? This is where your power begins. Not in the gym, not in the mirror, but in the choices no one sees. So let's paint that picture together. You begin your day with movement, not punishment, not a performance, just movement. You walk slowly, stretch gently, roll your feet on the ground to wake them. Your legs respond with warmth. They say, "Thank you for remembering us." You eat with purpose, not by chasing trends, but by honoring your body with real food. You give it protein to repair, healthy fats to lubricate joints, colorful vegetables to fight inflammation, and water to carry it all to your cells. You step outside, maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 20, but you let the light touch your skin. Because sunlight isn't just about vitamin D, it's about reminding your body of rhythm, of energy, of joy. And you don't wait for motivation. You move even on the days when your knees ache, when your spirit feels low, when your routine is interrupted. Because you know this truth. Movement is not a luxury. It is your right. Your birthright as a man created to walk, to carry, to stand with strength. You begin to understand that sitting is not rest, it's absence. That stillness must be earned by movement. And that every step you take is not just a task. It is an act of defiance against decline. You rest with honor. You let your evenings slow down, not just for your muscles to heal, but for your hormones to recalibrate. You go to bed not as a tired man escaping the day, but as a wise man preparing for restoration. And maybe, just maybe, you stop waiting to feel like your old self again. Because the truth is, you're not going back. You're going forward. And what you're building now is not a copy of who you were. It is the strongest version of who you are becoming. This lifestyle is not about extremes. It's about alignment. Your habits aligned with your goals. Your mindset aligned with your truth. Your legs aligned with your purpose. In the final block, we'll close this journey with a message from me, not as a doctor, but as a man, about what it truly means to stand strong in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. But before we get there, take this moment to reflect. What are you building? Not just in your legs, but in your life? Because strength is never just physical. It is a declaration. And every day you move, no matter how slowly, you are declaring this: I am not done. Let me speak to you now, not just as a doctor, but as a man. One who has seen time etch lines on his own hands. One who has walked beside fathers, brothers, friends, each at a different chapter in this long, complicated book we call aging. I've watched men lose their footing, not because their muscles gave out, but because their belief in themselves quietly slipped away. And I've watched others rise from pain, from surgeries, from loss, and take that first slow, trembling step forward. And that step, more than any medicine, any therapy, any diagnosis, that step was the beginning of everything. I want to remind you today, your legs may ache, your balance may waver, your pace may not be what it once was, but you are still in motion. And that matters. Because a man in motion is a man alive. He has direction. He has choice. He has the right to occupy space, to take steps, to stand tall in his season of life. And when your legs carry you forward, even slowly, they are not just carrying your body. They are carrying your story. A story that says, I have not given up. I still have purpose. I still deserve to feel powerful in my own skin. This is not about becoming young again. This is about becoming fully present now, strong now, capable now, grateful now. So I ask you, wherever you are in the world, whether you are watching from Brazil or France or the United States or a quiet village in the countryside, what is the next step you will take? Not just physically, but spiritually? Because every powerful walk begins with an intention. An agreement between your mind and your body that says, we go forward together. And if you feel discouraged, know this: you are not alone. Thousands of men just like you are waking up to a new truth. That age is not a prison. It is a platform, a place to speak from, a place to move from, a place to live from fully. You may not run a marathon, but you can chase a grandchild. You can carry your groceries without fear. You can rise from your chair with dignity. You can walk into every room with presence. You can kneel in prayer and stand in strength. This is your legacy, not medals or records, but presence, vitality. A man who refuses to disappear quietly. So let the world watch you walk. Let your steps be louder than your fears. Let your strength be simple, honest, and real. And if no one has told you lately, I am proud of you for showing up, for listening, for believing that something better is still ahead. If this message touched your heart, I invite you to write in the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from, your city, your country. Tell us how you're choosing to walk forward today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Wellness Over 6060 so that every week we can walk this road together. One breath, one step, one strong, dignified day at a time.